All right, so how does manipulation function? I'm going to try to do a quick one here because I want to erase all this and actually put together a proper presentation. But it's just up here, so I want to get to it while it's here. Um, it's pretty clear to a lot of folks that there's something like the bad guy that's creating some type of magnetizing toward a dystopia. And what's really happening is that there's a breaking down, a chaos, a falling apart that's always been known that's going to occur before a different age grows. It's a vibrational thing, vibration, resonance, frequency, or vibration, frequency, resonance. But that is changing, and as that changes, it seems like everything's falling apart because not everyone's able to grasp onto what the next thing is. So there's a tearing down mechanism that's required so everyone can, if they, you know, their lifetime probably won't get there, but slowly humanity will begin to not attach themselves to things that are not healthy for them. Now, there's layers of how vibration and frequency communicate that strongly basically controls affects humans that humans haven't been told, think is bullshit, and can't see. And so there's basically it's you, right? You are, you see this, like a dust, just a fragment of light, like a dust particle that is operating in toroid field energy flow. This is a poor example, but that's you. Now, this everything is fractal and everything is flow. So this place, this universe, this earth, in my opinion, either is or 100% operates as a mind, just as you do to a certain degree until you get past it. So it operates with the hermetic principles for the most part, not exactly, but for the most part. So if it's doing that, you have to separate to see everything is fractal. So the way that your cell functions, the way that the stars function, the way that the table functions, everything is the same. It's just at different levels of vibration. Between this place, which reflects your energy to you and to everyone all the time, and you is this thing that people talk about but they can't see. And I didn't get this from Jung or anybody else, it just kind of came to me. However, many sages have spoken about a similar concept for a long time. I see it somewhat uniquely. I'll just go over it real quick. Between you and this place that is described as Earth and universe, there's the collective. Collective functions as, to a certain degree, it's like morphic resonance. Rupert Sheldrake. It's like a beehive network. It's a mind network. It's a neural network that is beyond mind because it's body too. That everyone is learning and communicating to each other at all times. And we can't not unless you intentionally step aside and like a drastically changing your vibration to the point where like you're in an ayahuasca ceremony, you have a kundalini experience or whatever, just going off in the woods and living by yourself for a little while. You know, the Thoreau approach. Now, number represents letter. Letter represents symbol. Symbol represents intent. Intent represents resonance. Everything, always, no matter what, good or bad, which was not really good or bad, is always only an attempt to communicate resonance. From the original creation, from time and no time, to a thought that you want to give somebody else, to this vibrational energy that you're hearing via cymatics right now, every fucking thing is a desired intent attempting to communicate resonance. But you can't give it to somebody else. You can't force anybody to have it. And you're not always 100% sure that your resonance is necessarily correct. Well, it's not really such thing as a correct. But I'm attempting to explain in a meandering pattern how the manipulation so efficiently operates. Now, money equals power. Power equals influence. Influence equals control. They're all on the same level, but it's like shark skin. Control never, ever comes back for fucking money. Ever. Ever. Influence has always been the one controlling the money. So the game is that those with the control and the influence are influencing those that desire the money and the power. And the control never leaves, ever. The influence, its desire or its job is to be the barrier between the control and the power then looks like it's the thing that actually has control. It's just a stepping stone. They're all to a certain degree on the same standard, but control never comes back from money. So if anybody's saying follow the money, well, that's only going to get you to who has power. But beyond power is influence, which is really the gatekeeper, and control is that's always been there. So let's see, I need to erase this. This is where I'm going. All right, won't come off. I'll do it later. So basically, you can think of it as there's like this tiny little group that are here to let their light shine. You can't even see that. And there's another tiny little group that are here to close the blinds. So there's a huge group in the middle which is basically everybody. So what happens is this tiny group that's here to shine their light. They can't help it. It's just in them. It's what they came here to do. This group can be either of them or neither of them. And most choose neither. This group is here to close the blinds. So let's just say nope. It's a nope group. Doesn't want anybody to shine the light. It's for balance. Okay? It's not necessarily evil. So this group is constantly projecting information into this group. And the way it functions is that the information enters into the collective. And so as we're all these energy fields, and that's what would be considered the real us, although on a greater level, it's not really us, it's love. There are 4 layers of consciousness. Let me scoot this over. See if you can see that. Kind of. All right. So you are divine limitless spirit energy. This place is a magical realm. I'm not fucking joking. Okay? What most people call God is the energy, the core energy of everything. It's singular one love. This place operates as a reality of duality. The bottom of the pyramid of that is love and fear. Love and fear. And it's not good or bad, it's just love and fear. If you watch yourself, that's the essence of what you feel all the time. And people call it like being authentic or because they think fear is scared and they think love is like happy romance. Everything in its essence is deriving from a balance of love and fear. So it's basically just a play that you are projecting constantly. It's all the story you're telling yourself. Inside the essence of everything, the essence of love and fear at the bottom of the pyramid, this isn't Masonic, this is just the fucking shit. This is it. Inside everything is the original creative generative principle, the original frequency of the true love that is everything, that is you, that is me, that is the real you, the greater you, doesn't fucking matter, God, everything. It's the essence of true frequency of love. And inside fear here, that is made from the true love. Inside love here, that is made from the true love. It's just that we can't see it all the time because we're too close to it. You gotta back way the fuck up. Way the fuck up. Thousands of years, even though time doesn't exist. All the way back. And you'll see, oh, it's perfect. This shit is perfect. You just gotta let it flow. It's okay. Now, you have superconscious, self-conscious, unconscious, and subconscious. I'm not going to explain this the way anybody else does. This is how it came to me. Your superconscious is the energy of you as your most true form in creation. It's your limitless creative ability. Your self-conscious is like the functionality of being able to communicate intentionally and operate intentionally on the surface level with others. So if you're living in a harmonious manner, you're combining your superconscious to a certain degree and your self-conscious and operating all the time in the present. Your unconscious is basically the mechanism that operates everything. So I have this drawn like a tree. It's the sun, the moon, and the stars, and the ether, the energy around that is the superconscious coming down and feeding into the tree. The canopy is the self-conscious. It feeds down, also up, and the entirety of the tree is the unconscious, and the bottom of the tree is the roots. And that's the foundation. In that foundation, there's a little book. And this is your book of belief. Love, trust, belief. There's many words that should have a plethora of definitions. Instead, we use belief as just a one-off term, and that's very inaccurate. So the way I'm saying belief now is what you can't see about yourself, what you can't even really feel about yourself. If you really search yourself, what some type of whisper knows that you're holding on to something inside and it resonates with you. Not good or bad. That is the belief I'm talking about. Not I want to believe something. What's really in there? What story are you holding on to? That book of belief is in there held by your inner child's hands. And you have to go in there and put your adult spirit hands around that inner child and allow it to open up a little bit. What happens in that mechanism is that you're living within mind boxes controlled by fear. And you bump into the mind boxes. And everybody gets smaller when they bump into it. But what you're really supposed to do is open it and forgive it, and then you'll bump into another one. But it's that the book of belief is telling everybody to stay small. And this is attached to ego. Ego's not bad at all. It's just here to serve you so you can learn in the early process of this life. And everybody is taught to stay in their personality instead of grow past it. You just have to address fucking everything. You have to address everything. And everybody's taught to address nothing. To silently judge everybody. Although nobody knows shit about shit. So below your foundational level of unconscious, right in the foundation is your book of belief. That's the most important part. The subconscious then is holding all the information and it's seeping into this womb of the subconscious. As that occurs, the subconscious fills up in like this great auditorium. and it's got some water in there. It's got like an assembly line, and it's just walls and walls and walls of libraries of books or packages. So all of the superconscious, self-conscious, unconscious drips into through the filter of the book of belief, the subconscious, and it just fills it up. So periodically, the subconscious is always, forever, taking different pieces of what it's been given by the other layers of consciousness and shooting it out, sending out unique pattern of frequency imprinting upon this realm's energy, which reflects the frequency patterns back to your perspective via events and effects. This place is returning in an indeterminate time your energy back to you. And the determination of that is the filter through which you're allowing yourself to believe that it's okay to perceive. You perceive to the state of your frequency. You fucking see what you fucking believe. And you can't see it. So, there's this group over here, the Nope group, the Close the Blinds, that have this information. They're not bad guys, but they seem to be bad guys in this thing. We're all the same fucking thing. I'm saying fuck a lot, but whatever. We're all the same thing. And these guys, these Nope guys, are imprinting into the collective, which is in between you and this place. And there's a tiny you like this in the collective, and the collective looks just like this too. And this place looks just like this too. This place is not physical. There's a tiny you in here, and there's millions and millions and billions of others in here. In there, there's a society, there's a local geographic group, there's your religious local group, there's all little sectors of what life would be categorized are within the collective. The collective has all the same layers of consciousness. So does this place. What happens is this group puts information in front of you. Now think about all the information you look at all the time. Be honest with yourself. And be honest with yourself how you feel about it. It goes in, and even if you don't want it to go in, if you see it enough times, it enters the unconscious. The unconscious, there's an owl there, is always watching, always running, never turns off. It's good. It's wonderful. Everything is perfect. But this group, very small group, like the blinds closed and shining light is less than 1% of everybody. And so it's basically 100% of people in the middle that can't comprehend what the fuck is going on because they can't comprehend that they're doing it because they're in the middle of fighting against other people who don't know shit because this other group over here is, in my opinion, pulling some strings to keep some control as the ages turn. And that it's always been that, and it will always be that. And they are not really fighting you. They're just telling you that you're fighting somebody else or that there's this big conspiracy. I know them all. Because that is a requirement to get this thing to turn so that there's a continuation of control. What happens is this information that goes into the collective, enters through into the unconscious layer, and at least in this last, we'll call it last age, last couple thousand years, it's been a repetition of fear that is the program because the vibration level, I don't know if I have that on here, the vibration level is either was required or just it went like this. The unconscious became a safety net. The collective unconscious became a safety net right here. So everybody relies on this collective unconscious. They just go along to get along, or they if anybody doesn't agree with it, they're outcast, right? Like Jonathan Livingston Seagull or Plato's Republic. The information that goes in there is fear-based. Look, just watch. Damn near everything is fear-based. Always. And how would anybody be able to control that? Like how big would it have to be for this group of 12 folks, 12 families or whatever, to control everything? And then also control everything and control everybody's actions all the time. That ain't it. What's happening is that there's an awareness that if you project information in front of humans, the way that this place works, functions, is that those humans will, unless you give them the proper information, will not be aware of how they operate, but they will be aware of the things reflected back to them, not knowing that they're a reflection, and that they will double down on fear, and will be in groups together, and those groups are easier to control than individuals. So it's basically the individuals that separate, because you must separate the C from the collective, which is a rites of passage. Those individuals that separate, they're just like, fuck it. We're not actually controlling anything. We're controlling our own ability to be in power and influence, which is the background for everything. It's not fucking money. It's not war. It's not religion. The background of all of it is continue to be in control, be it influence, influencing power, choosing who gets to be in power. That entire narrative is based on the fact that even that perspective is accepted by anybody. And the only ones it's ever accepted by are the ones that are in the group. In the group means you're holding on to a safety net inside because you're scared and you don't know you're scared. Being scared inside comes from a program of the collective unconscious. Why? Because your fucking parents were. Because they're trying to get by and do it. Has nothing to do with good or bad. So, let's see here. Okay. The way the mind functions is that there's two levels and there's two operations within the levels. The mind is coming out here of you. It connects to the brain, obviously, in some manner, and the body, but it's not the brain and the body. And it's a very, very small portion of what it's like a part of a race car. And like you're the driver of the car, you're in charge of the car, and the mind is, to a certain degree, it's like the steering wheel. It's not that important, but it's not something to be cast away either. It's to be used 100%. The way it functions is that there's a greater mind of all, the greater field, and then there's the field of you. And again, this place functions as a mind does, via the Hermetic principles and other energies. So there's a highway portal between what would be considered you and density. This reality of duality is an illusion of density. It's light dancing as figments of light that's created via cymatics, reflecting you to you and reflecting the group to the group. The mind is a highway portal to the greater mind and to you and to the collective. It's all fractal. In that scenario, most folks in the collective don't realize that and don't realize that there's a second part to it. The other part is your divine attention, which operates as a spotlight. And everybody has their spotlight stuck onto the highway. And everybody thinks that the highway is full of thoughts that they have to fight. Or this great information, this great new enlightenment manner, or this like scary conspiracy or the news. You got to know what's going on with the weather or fucking whatever, right? It's information coming in as just merely data. Some of it what you've seen before, some of it what you can kind of feel is already coming, and a lot of it is attached to the collective in this place. A lot of this information is stuff that's just being presented by these groups. These groups, for the most part, in this age, is just media. If you completely cut out what everybody says, anybody, then you're way closer to being present. And for the most part, you're not taking in the closing of the blinds, and you slowly become more aware that you are it. But everybody has their spotlight directly on the portal of data information, and that's not the way it's supposed to function. You're supposed to work on something and then step away from it, go for a walk, take a nap, meditate, and then a thing will pop in. It's data information, and the same portal is also access for thoughts, ideas, and epiphanies. But most people have just information as data coming in and thinking that that's important. It's actually a distraction. It's actually your ego turning into an alter ego. It's actually using this information against you because it's something you have to fight. And if you want to fight anything, what you're doing is trying to push away something, conquer something that you're in your energy resonating with, tethering to it. So you're keeping it alive because you're the power, you're the force of everything. You're the energy of everything. This place is watching you and reflecting you back to you. So you're keeping anything you fight alive by giving your energy to it. Everything, look real close. Everything always is attempting to acquire your attention. Look at how little kids operate. They're always wanting somebody to give them attention and give their attention to something else. They are divine limitless spirit energy. They're not foolish. They're operating a little bit closer to accuracy, really. And so the information, the media that goes through this place into the collective, now we're talking about the collective's unconscious. Basically, all it has to do is get into a certain percentage, like 1%, very little, of the individuals, and the individuals' minds are attached to the collective and their bodies. And then every individual together is projecting out this unique pattern of information they've received. Everyone's always projecting out information, always based on their frequency. Frequency is already here, but it's uniquely curated to the unique vibration, and everybody's unique, and your vibration's always changing. And so if information comes in and people feel a certain way about it, then that information will go into the subconscious of individuals, and enough individuals receive it, they are projecting it out, and then you eventually see it. It's a predictive programming to a certain degree. It is literally a programming of society, and people see it like, I don't like it, and they don't like it, and then they're projecting it back out too. Everything is flowing through you, and you're projecting it out, and it's being reflected back to you. I don't give a fuck if this sounds crazy. Honestly, whatever. So, let's see. Is there anything else? Okay. So, the proper manner of functioning is what everybody's been taught to operate in the mind, and then operate in the brain, and operate in the body. But what ends up happening is the mind does too many things at once, and the brain gets kind of frizzed out. It's not supposed to be like that, just point blank. The brain is a receiver and a director, and emotions are messengers, and the mind is basically a portal. in all ways. And overuse of that just creates a spinning of wheels. And if you look at all the folks who, you know, myself, everybody, who think they have things figured out, or they're looking at the bad guy, or they're just trying to get through their job, or they're in a marriage is tough, or whatever the fuck it is, it's like there's this weight on them all the time. A lot of the weight is that they aren't clear headed, clear body, clear mind. Because the mind is doing way too many jobs at once, and that affects the brain. The brain's doing way too much at once, which means it's not doing anything properly, because you must apply all of your focus on one thing and then only take one step at a time. And then everything's fucking easy. Genuinely. The proper mechanism is that you start with your heart. The heart is the prism to the soul. The mind you keep open, but the less you put your divine attention of your spotlight on the highway, the less it inundates and overwhelms you. So you train your spotlight of your mind to pay attention to the one thing or two things that your heart tells you. Your heart is there for a reason. Your heart, the organ, the center of your being, the true self, the center of the flow of you, you must attach yourself to who you really are. Open up. You have to let go of everything to get there. If you take your mind and you place it on your heart and you just listen to your heart and you do that very odd thing of trusting yourself because you are divine, then you receive proper directive, proper information. And then you have to train your mind to not pay attention to all the other bullshit. Because all the other bullshit will keep coming here. And this is the exact reason why there's a rites of passage. You must separate to be able to see what's going on, how does this place work, and then to be able to go through something that's so tough, it pushes you way past what you thought your boundaries were, and there, ego death, or you're all of a sudden in a harmonious relationship with nature, where you see in presence exactly what is occurring everywhere all the time. It's so clear, it's so easy, because you're not doing shit out of order. You must use your mind, but first listen to your heart. If you start with your heart, you place your mind's attention fully, always, on your heart's intention. And you serve yourself by listening to what you're here to do and who you are, which is in your heart. It's just sitting there waiting for you. That's number one. Always get back to that. The meditation and walking and working out and talking to a computer. Your heart's intention only, always. Your mind's attention on your heart's intention, constantly, always. You still have the portal, but you're serving your purpose here. Your mission is to shine your light. And these other folks, their mission is to close the blinds. That creates balance. It's okay. You fight it, you build more of it because you're divine energy. What you place your attention on grows. So you listen to your heart, you start there, use your mind. These are tools. Use your mind's attention, and you hold it on your heart's singular intention. And you get closer to God, closer to you, closer to love, closer to what you really are, because you're doing that one thing. That is your heart's intention, your mind's attention is what true focus is. You're not focused if you're not using your heart and your mind. If you're just trying to do everything with your brain, then you use your body. As you train your mind to put full attention on your intention, then you use your body. Great friction. Fearless, courageous, jumping off the cliff, friction in this light reflection, this reality of duality. You must use your body. You use your body to courageously, no matter what, walk after, head down, one step at a time. I don't give a fuck. I'm going after what my heart said. I'm not even really in charge here. I'm just listening to my heart. Doesn't mean my feelings. Your feelings are there so you can feel them and learn from them. They're not there to guide you forever. It's like a momentary thing. Your feelings go away in, I don't know, a minute, 3 minutes, if you sit with it. They're there as a messenger. Emotions are stronger, and they're there as messengers. Listen to your heart, and that one or two things that's in there, it won't change until you address it. And a lot of people aren't addressing that because they don't even realize that's the thing. It sounds stupid. It sounds like Disney World. Listen to your heart. Start with your heart. Train yourself to start with your heart. Put your mind's attention on your heart's intention, and then act courageously with your body. So that's focus, mind on heart, and then friction is action with the body. If you do that on anything, focus and friction, you're good. But if you do that and you're serving the collective, which is being programmed with a repetition of fear in this time between times, then you're going to be basically spinning your wheels. You're going to be rowing your own boat against your own wind. At some point, you got to be you. Do what you came here to do. All right. I'll make it more concise next time. Super random. Here's another thing. That book of belief is what's filtering everything for the collective and for you. It's the filter of everything. You are not in a matrix. The matrix is in you, and it's a program from this into the collective that's created this. Everything is being created via the human experience, via what is allowed from the self inside to believe. Because if you really look at it, the scariest thing is to allow yourself to believe something that's bigger than you're comfortable with. That's people would rather attach themselves to torture and then complain about torture and war forever than actually address the part of themselves that says, well, maybe I believe it can be more. Maybe I am more. Maybe this place is more. It's not a judgment thing. It's just that you are divine, limitless spirit energy. At some point, you got to be you. The only thing keeping you from being fully you is your belief structure inside. And that belief structure, nothing can bypass it. Everything flows through that filter. So you might have the greatest awareness in your superconscious, and you might say all the right shit in your self-conscious, but if you haven't changed anything in your unconscious, that filter, only a little bit of that enlightenment will get through to the subconscious, and you'll keep projecting out patterns that are so. To override your unconscious, you can do it with your self-conscious. It's a little easier with your superconscious. To override your foundational unconscious, your lower unconscious, with the book of belief, you must enter your superconscious. You must do it consistently. It's not hard. It's right there. All it is just a letting go process and getting back to being you. And so you turn that book of belief that looks like a nightmare, or looks like childhood trauma, or looks like it doesn't matter. Anything that's keeping you small, just holding on for so long that you think the ropes that you're holding on to are actually important. And on the other side, it's just some aggregore feeding your energy. You're just feeding your own oppression. I'm not against the oppressive thing. It's just there as a step until you realize, like, oh, okay, thank you. I bless you. I forgive you. Forgive myself. I forgive everything. Forgive everyone. I'm scooting. So what you do is you turn that book of belief into the prologue of your journey. And then you start writing new chapters. And instead of looking like a horror movie, it looks like one of the greatest stories ever told. Because this entire life is allegory reflected as density. It's what you're telling yourself. And these folks are telling a story that's, that through media that's entering the collective. And then the collective tells that story to each other, even if they don't know they're telling it. Like how do you even know the rhyme Humpty Dumpty? How did that even get in you? But I don't have to finish the rest of it. You know it. Why is that even a thing? The collective repeats things and it becomes immersive because it's of a resonance, and that resonance is this place is scary. It's a safety net, and anybody who's not ready keeps holding on to the safety net. But if you're enough of a weirdo to listen to a world-class weirdo, you're probably ready. You're probably so far past ready. Go in and address your own true, deep belief structure. It's not just saying affirmations, but those are probably good. But really, really, really look at yourself. Not this, not this. It's past this. It's all the way in here. Just look at it. Just sit with it. And there's a little kid in there that's you, and it's still holding on tight, trying to keep you safe. And that little kid, best friends with your ego. But when the little kid gets hurt, you don't listen to it, and it's trying to do something else, and you're not listening to the ego because it's sending your messages, and you're just used to the emotions, you're just used to the feelings, you're just used to the body being fucked up, you're just used to having to deal with shit in life that's all sideways. You're used to not being present, used to not being the true you, used to just saying, I'll do my purpose, my meaning, my mission later. What happens? The alter ego comes out. When the alter ego comes out, it dances with information to try to get you to look at the ego, to try to get you to address the inner child, to try to get you to expand your belief structure so you have greater availability to apply focus and friction in this life. You have a greater availability of what you're allowing yourself to perceive, because you can't perceive how it's functioning when you're in a certain state, and most everybody's in the state of the collective, which will not allow anybody to perceive it. It's of a different vibration. So the alter ego comes out and it tries to give this information to you. But because you've received so much programming in the collective, so much nonsense coming through here, coming from these groups of media, as the ego is attempting to give you some information, you place your energy on the ego basically only when it's turning into an alter ego and dancing as a court gesture in front of you. As it dances, what's happening is you pay more attention. This is all unconscious. You pay more attention to it when it's providing distraction and resistance, which is supported by the core balance of fear. Watch what you pay attention to inside. In your unconscious, you're almost always paying attention to fear. So your ego can't get your attention unless it's showing you distraction and resistance. So it's forced to turn into an alter ego. And your inner child can't get any attention either because you're paying attention to the alter ego. And the alter ego gets bigger and bigger with your energy because everything here wants your attention. So even that, forgive it. Let it go. Write a greater book for yourself. Nothing is fucked. Everything's perfect. You're just spinning your wheels. It's kind of how it's supposed to go. It kind of is the journey of the Fool, the tarot. It is, to a certain degree, the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell. It is the great Greek myths. It is the Epic of Gilgamesh, Beowulf. This place is a story. It's reflecting back what it's allowed to be. It's changing ages right now, and it will continue to for a long time. And all the chaos and all the fear is really just an opportunity for you to say, well, hold on a fucking minute. I've seen this for 40, 50, 30 years. How long do I have to see it until I realize maybe there's something else going on? Maybe it starts with me. Maybe it's always only me. But you must separate to see. Primum vultus interiorum. I love you.